Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
Okay, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? Yeah, man, we coming here with another show this week that I'm hoping that I could squeeze this in. Just a lot going on, and that I'm trying to do everything at one time. But what's going on, guys? What's still going on? Hopefully, you listen to the to my Black Adam review. Something that I felt that I needed to do separately, aside from the show, because there was just so much things that were going on, the controversy, the bad ratings that it got from the establishment critics. And I just checked Rotten Tomatoes, and it stands at, I think, 40% as far as it getting a Rotten Tomato, probably mostly from critics. But however, it got a resounding 90% mark from the fans, man, and that was like 5,000 deep, I think it said. And so it is going strong. I hear that it's picked up the number one viewing for a second week in a row, and of course they were gonna judge the movie and the direction of the DCEU based on the numbers, what Black Adam was gonna do in the second week. So I think it's really doing well. Big ups to Black Adam. Big ups to everybody that put their blood, sweat, and tears into making this film. Of course, everybody knows by now Superman is back on track. Henry Cavill is it's official. And yeah, man, I'm excited. He kicked the fucking Witcher to the side. He's like, yo, kick rocks, I'm Superman. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm feeling the fact that Henry Cavill is making his moves back in the blue and red suit, and that means that's a good thing for. As they say, the talk is that Zack Snyder is a possibility, of course, for him to come back. Of course, all the original characters, that's still up to play. Of course, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, my guy from Aquaman, I forgot his name. It's still up in the air with Cyborg, my man Ray Fisher. That hasn't been said too much yet. And of course, we already know that Flash is not going to be by Ezra Miller anymore. He's going to definitely be replaced. Yeah, so man, I'm looking forward to all of this, man. I'm really looking forward to how this is going to play out, especially with the new head that's running the DC, as you know. So I'm just all for it. The one question I do have in mind, like, how is this going to play out? How is this going to play out as far as the other Batmans? The standalone joint. How's that going to go? How's that going to play out? How's that going to go? You're going to have Ben Affleck Batman in the DCEU. Hopefully it's going to be done by Zack Snyder. And then you have my man from Matt Reeves, I think. Matt Reeves. Sometimes I feel that Matt Reeves, let's see, the Batman director, Matt Reeves, right? So Matt Reeves directing that, and the Joker director is Todd Phillips. They kind of got similar vibes. So and sometimes I mix them up, but that Todd Phillips has done the Joker, and that was a great independent standalone film. And Matt Reeves did his thing with the Batman. So now we got two Batmans going out, and as a matter of fact, 3, because Michael Keaton is going to play. So I don't know how this is going to play out. We got 3 Batmans walking around up in this bitch. So yeah, man. And then of course the Black Panther is out. Black Panther did the world premiere. Iman Reviews, of course, the brother from Chicago, that he came out, and that was probably one of the first early reactions after the film played at the world premiere. And he was sad, man. He was just broke up. He liked the film. I know he liked the film, but of course it had something to do with how they portrayed or how they went about doing T'Challa in this flick. And, you know, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you already know how I feel about it. Recast T'Challa all the way. All the way. I mean, for God's sakes, we got 3 Batmans. We can do T'Challa. And this is how I'm going to chalk it up. I'm going to chalk it up as far as them wanting to make a tribute of Wakanda Forever to Chadwick Boseman, and they're going to let that sit. Supposedly they said, you know, Chadwick passed away when they were in production or pre-production, something like that. So it was of course, it's so, you know, it was so gut-wrenching. And of course, how do you continue a film? I would have rather them just pause the whole production, man. But, you know, I guess money changed hands and things has got to keep moving and keep the ball rolling. But I'm just going to chalk it up as, you know, them doing this for Chadwick as a tribute. And then we'll get into the next BP 2 or 3 years from now when BP3 comes out. So, you know, it is what it is. All right, so let's get this thing going. What's going on, guys? I am your host, Nova Phoenix, on GCOM Radio, on iHeartRadio. And we're going to start with Kanye West. Everybody, I did a piece on Kanye on my IG page, and it was something that I wanted to share with everybody there. I wanted to share because of the fact that Ebro from Ebro in the Morning, he had his piece to say as far as Kanye is concerned, and you could go back to Ebro's page. And I couldn't wait for the show because, you know, I do this show once a week, and sometimes things are so fresh, you got to get on it and get on the ball and throw it out there like how other people do it on their shows. But, you know, I didn't want to wait because it was on my mind. It was like, you know, it was so many things, all these things were just running through my thoughts. I said, yo, I got to get it out now, and I recorded myself. Anyway, I said my piece on Kanye. And, you know, I still stand with it. Kanye now, from what I've seen, he's doing an apology tour. He released a song that Teddy Riley put on his IG page, and I'm like, and he was saying this is hot. I'm like, come on, son, is that all it's gonna take? This fool gonna put out some half-ass song that he probably made 4 or 5 years ago, Kanye, and then, you know, Teddy gonna catch you in it, throw it up there and saying it's hot. I'm like, come on, man, is this not? Come on. So all this guy got to do is just put out a song, and then everybody's going to be up on his. Come on. It was a half-ass song anyway. It was corny. And I just, oh my God. And to see the comments, I mean, and a lot of the comments, folks were kind of ripping the song apart. But, you know, the fact that Teddy Riley was trying to be like, yo, this is hot. And this is not the time for music. This is so not the time for music. This is the time to get the record straight as far as how Kanye came off in the last couple of weeks. And, you know, we really, come on, man. But his music is hot, though. But he's a musical genius. So I got to play this song. We know that. We're not talking about this fucking guy's music or him as a producer. We're talking about the troubling words that he made as far as how we saw it as White Lives Matter and putting down the whole movement and black folk struggle, and then also coming with this anti-Semitic bullshit. And so now they're saying that he said these things because he was trying to get out of the contract with Adidas, I think, or someone, or some company, and this was a way where he wanted to rock the boat enough where they would kind of dissolve the contract and he could move on. And I saw this post on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if he did this to try to get out of the contract because his contract is bad. I don't give a fuck. The fact that he used it, if that is the case, if he used this as a tool to get out of the contract, I think it is in terrible, poor, disgusting taste that he would use the struggles, the blood, sweat, and tears that black people are going through in this country to try to get some justice. And he's using the situation of what happened with George Floyd, where he knows that it tore people apart in this country apart, that he would use this as a party favor to try to dissolve his contract. That is selfish. That is fucking narcissistic, a selfish way of just going about the whole thing, man. I can't believe, if that is the case, so what? I don't see it as genius. I do not see it as a genius move. That shit was so self-serving as that's the case. That, get the fuck out of here. No. Pass on. I pass on. So, you know, Kanye was on again. I think the Shade Room shared it. And now he was going through his bullshit backwards, inside and out excuse and words on I guess he was trying to attempt an apology in the Kanye way. And I'm just staring at the screen like, and thank God when I went through the comments was coming back like they was roasting that motherfucker. I'm like, thank God they wrote roasting him, because I'm like, nah, you're not gonna just say what you say. Your whole fucking empire that you was building falls apart, and now you want to come to the black community and start asking, well, I saw the error of my ways, and now I know what it is to have a neck on a foot on my neck, like and he was trying to reference the George Floyd situation, foot on my neck, because the deal got crushed with Adidas and all these other companies. I'm like, nah, I'm not going for it, man. You need to take a break, Kanye. You need to take a fucking break. You need to just get away from the fucking cameras. We know your bank. We know you got bank. You got money. So you have enough where you could take a break. Other artists, Sade puts out an album every 10 fucking years. If Sade could retreat to a fucking, I think she lived on an island somewhere to raise her kids. If she can do that, if Andre 3000 if people catch Andre 3000 in random airports or wherever he's at in the dog, looking like a hobo, but it's all good, blowing his flute, playing his flute like the champion he is, he got time, so he got good real quick with the flute. And people hardly see Andre 3000. He kind of backed up from the music and he's doing his thing. And when he's ready to put out an album, then he will put an album. But for Kanye to just be so fucking enamored and just drunk with the attention that he gets from the bullshit that he says is doing more damage to his brand and to himself than he knows. And there's no one in his team that's going to tell him, chill. You know why? Because everybody's coming for the bag. Everybody's coming for the bag. Even every music industry person that supports Kanye is coming for the bag. So yeah, when Teddy Riley posts that, that's all I see. So I'm here to say that artists are not your leaders, and a lot of times that can be kind of messed. That they can be twisted because they're so close to us as a people, and they struggle, and they make such great music, and it's a soundtrack to our lives from year after year. Sometimes artists slipped into being people's leaders, but artists are people. They're flawed people, and all they do is great music. That's all they do. They just so happen to be gifted with putting some beats together, but we do not know their politics. Now, if their politic is correct, that's what's up. Like Killer Mike, shout out to Killer Mike. Then we can see where he coming from. You know what I mean? But when you, as a producer or artist, comes out with the bullshit and saying some things that's damaging to the black community, man, walk away, go away. And I implore people to tell it. I want someone that is not connected to his empire or to his money in any way. Anyone that doesn't give a damn about making money from him, just tell this dude to take a back seat. But I know his ego is so big and shit. I know his ego is so big he ain't gonna listen. But sometimes people gotta crash and burn. Sometimes people gotta be in the doldrums in the pits for them to realize, damn, man, I fucked up. So I really don't care what Kanye is doing at this point. More power to him. He wants to do his thing. I haven't bought a Kanye record in so long, but apparently he's still making money off of the millions of other people. But I personally, I find him very distasteful. No wonder Jay-Z kind of like backed up from Kanye, man. He was like, yo, what are you becoming? And him just like, you know what? I'm just chill and raise my kids, man. Oh, man, whatever. So Elon Musk buys Twitter, man. Elon Musk buys Twitter. He comes in waving the fucking axe. He fires staff. Supposedly he told Tesla coders or some coders from his business or one of his businesses to examine the Twitter code to see where the flaws are and to kind of weed them out and show them. And I mean, he plans to cease the lifetime ban on any Twitter users. Of course, we're thinking of Trump. Everybody's thinking of Trump. I mean, the censorship flag has been lowered down and it has been folded and packed away because people are going crazy on Twitter, as I see. You're gonna have the racist folks that's insulting black people, insulting the LGBTQ community, saying what they want to say. Twitter has literally turned into 4chan in a matter of hours after Elon after Elon bought Twitter. He was forced to buy Twitter. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, man, it is what it is. They say free speech and people are saying these things. I don't give a fuck. You know, I mean, I think personally, like I said, remember, he tried to back out of it. He was beating his chest on, I'm going to buy Twitter. And then all of a sudden, when he was trying to make up some excuse not to buy Twitter, so I'm not going to buy Twitter because of these bots. I don't know how many people is really on this platform. And because of that, I'm not buying. Man, listen. And they was like, fuck you. You made it public. You was going to buying this motherfucker. So, and sure enough, he got pushed into and dealt with it, and he's bought it. Now he's trying to do like a total rearrangement of Twitter. So how much is it going to change? Who knows? But I'm still using the platform. It is what it is. We'll see. The next one that we're going to get into is, again, it's funny that I talked about, cars in Oslo, Norway, that they're trying to convert their public transportation, their buses in particular, to be 100% emission free by being battery powered. I talk to random people, man. There's so many people that are against. There's so many people that are against turning cars to battery powered. I don't know why people are against battery powered cars. They was like, oh, it's not going to work. It's totally trash. I don't understand why. I mean, this is for the environment. This is ways where we could clean up our not just be responsible human beings on how the exhaust from our transportation is adding to the degradation of our environment. I mean, why not? I mean, I don't know. So, but yeah, I read an article saying that the European plans to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 55% over the next decade. They call it the Fit for 55 package. Amazing. Their first step to reducing emissions by 55%. They want to do by 2030 with vans requiring a 50% cut in that time. They're saying it's a higher target by the EU in 2018 because they were saying they wanted to do it by 37.5% by 2030, but they are trying to meet the challenge, man. They're just kicking it up a bit. So by 2035, they're saying they want to cut emissions by 100%. That is a very ambitious objective to meet. And actually, Oliver Zipse, I think his name, the CEO of BMW, he told CNBC, I quote, "It means that the European Union will now be the first and only world region to go all electric. Make no mistake, the European automobile industry is up to the challenge of providing these zero emission cars and vans," unquote. So, BMW is already wanting to really step it up and do the thing, do. Actually, a couple other people are critical of this campaign that the EU wants to do. Actually, the Greenpeace EU campaigner, Laura Limousin, I think Limousin, sounds French. She's saying, I quote, "The EU is taking the scenic route, and that route ends in disaster. A perfect example of where politicians can bask in a feel-good headline that masks the reality of their repeated failures to act on climate," unquote. Now, I gotta say, we already been through this. The nations of the world have gotten together and they said they were going to fix let me see if I can find a global environmental plan. Let's see, green plan. I forgot the name of it. Plan. And they were trying to cut. I can't find it. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, it's there's some sort of plan that the countries around the world by cutting emissions, and they horribly failed. They were going to say, hey, we're going to do all this, and then the developing nations around the world, of course, the United States, Russia, China, everybody, they sat down. They was like, I forgot the name of it. They said that they were going to have to meet the objectives of trying to clean up our environment by taking responsibility for each country, but they failed horribly. It did not work. And as I said before, guys, we do not have to save the planet. We have to save ourselves, because the planet has been around for millions and millions and millions of years. And here we go, human beings just popped up saying, an inch and a half, no, not even an inch, a half an inch, probably a quarter of an inch, a length of time in the span of the existence of the earth. And do you think, from what we're doing, they saying the heaviest impact we've had on our environment was in the last 100 years since the industrialization, that we've done the most amount of damage since human beings have been on this planet. You think we have to worry about the planet? No, the planet will self-correct. And if the planet has to get rid of viruses, has to get rid of fleas, and I'm talking about us as human beings, because we do not know how to responsibly act, the planet will do that. And we've seen it. I said it before on the show. When COVID happened and everybody was housed, or what's the word? It was contained. Fuck, I can't remember the name. When everybody was sheltering in, there you go. That's another word. I wasn't thinking that, but everybody was sheltering in, and the cars were parked, and the machine stopped, and everybody was trying to watch what was happening to the earth. What happened to the earth? It started to heal. The clouds went away, the dark smog, the fish started to come back, the oceans started to filter out the dirty water. It was happening. It was happening, especially when in India. India, by the Himalayan mountains, if I'm correct, the people in the village near the Himalayan mountains hasn't seen the snow caps of the Himalayan mountains in years. And when the driving stopped, the air cleared and they saw the snow caps, the high snow caps of the Himalayan mountains. And I believe that is so. I'm pretty sure it was Himalayan. So yeah, the earth will be fine. We have to figure it out. But if we don't, hey, the ozone layer is going to slowly be eaten away, and it's going to get wider and bigger, and the more harmful direct UV rays is going to cook the surface of the planet. And then we as human beings are going to suffer from it. Now, in particular, the more lighter skinned people will suffer from it. But, we've been talking about this for a long time. Nobody wants to listen. Everybody's making their money. Corporations wants to keep things chugging along. They're pouring millions of dollars to make sure politicians don't sway and pass any legislation that's going to go against these companies from making money. But it will catch up. The chickens will come home to roost. It will catch up, and it's only at that time where these people will be like, oh my God, we should have been doing something 25 years ago. And then by then it's going to be too late. And we're already suffering now from climate change, the harsher storms, the more frequent storms, the rising waters. It's happening all over the planet. The dead fish washing upon the shores everywhere. It's almost biblical. It's almost goddamn biblical. Everybody, these people, it's in the islands, it's in the West Coast, East Coast, other parts, just millions of fish washing up on the shores of these lands. And it stinks. And people are like, oh my God, what's going on? Yeah, it's happening and nobody's paying attention. It's damn near biblical, ain't it? Moses, right? And the plagues. And wasn't that one of the plagues? The locusts. The oceans turned red like blood, right? Fascinating. I think animals died. It was also I think the locust or something that was the swarm that was killing the animals, right? So it was hard for people to eat. So it's damn near biblical, but nobody. Yeah, it's damn near biblical and nobody wants to listen. Sorry, I was checking my phone. I was getting a text probably from one of my family members. Yeah. So hey man, I don't know who the Pharaoh is in this story, in this modern day Moses story. I don't know who the Pharaoh is. I don't know what's going to be the next big event that's going to happen for God to show his sign. But people will continue to wreck the planet. It is what it is, right? As I always say, it is what it is. All right, so the next thing, I think I'm not going to go on for long here. I think this is the last thing I got, this last topic. Yes, this is the last thing. I won't go on for much longer. It's a short one, as I said. I don't think I did say it, but yeah, this is gonna be a short one for you guys, so I can continue on. I'm doing some other things I gotta tend to. So this is the last topic as far as the notes that I'm going through: modern women versus traditional women. Amazing, man. This story has been coming up as of late. I've been seeing a lot of videos online, and you know, as a man, as an adult, as I get up there in the wise years, hopefully wise, you know, I'm really been fascinated with the story of modern women and traditional women. And this conversation, I'm glad this conversation is happening. I don't think a lot of people are realizing it's not being picked up by major news shows. But the discussion is happening on YouTube, online, social media. The discussion, especially with Andrew Tate, everybody hated Andrew Tate. Everybody hated. Is that his name? Andrew Tate hated this dude, right? And my niece actually asked me, "Hey, Uncle, what do you think about this guy named Andrew Tate?" I'm like, "I don't have a problem with him." She's like, "Oh my God, what? You don't have a problem with him?" I'm like, "Yeah, you kind of got to separate the hype and what's going on online, because he is a YouTube person, and you have to separate the hype from the actual what he's trying to say." And he says a lot of things that make sense once you strip away all the sensationalism and the shock jock, you know, thing type of deal. Yeah, it makes sense. Same thing with Kevin Samuels. A lot of, especially the sisters, hated Kevin Samuels. They were saying, "Oh my God, he's misogynistic. He's terrible." Not really. He only talks about women. Not really. Kevin Samuels was talking about men as well. He had men on the show and he was tearing them up, just like I was tearing up these women. But everybody want to concentrate on what Kevin Samuels was saying to some other women. That's how it was going. If you're saying something that's true to fact about women that needs to be checked, because if a woman said it, it would be like, oh, they would listen. But because it was a brother, and I'm speaking in the black community, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. And that's typical of what men on an individual basis goes through in their own relationships. And I think we need to check these things. And the thing is, I'm not even blaming all women. Now what I'm seeing is there's a lot of women even online with their YouTube shows talking about the modern women versus traditional women, how things have gone wrong. And the way things are needs to be corrected because it is affecting our society. It's affecting it. And what makes up the city, right? City blocks, the communities. What makes up towns? And what makes up counties? Little corners, grocery stores, the mechanic shops, right? And who are those people running these mechanic shops and grocery stores and schools and fire departments and local police from county, from city? These little the suburbs, who's running it? Families, a nuclear family. These are the people that are populating these areas. And people are finally coming to terms with, wait a second, I think we went down the wrong way here. And it's not just men that's having this honest conversation, it's women. That's why I'm so intrigued by this now. It's like, thank God women are catching on, like, whoa, we kind of fucked up here. And they're saying the modern woman is destroying society. And they're specifically calling out modern women. Because there is something going on wrong in our society, and it's just not the typical things we're talking about. But us as men and women, how we're interacting with each other, that's causing the society to deteriorate. And now people are questioning themselves from the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Like, wait a second, we've been doing it this one way and it hasn't helped. Now we're in a state of emergency in terms of the health of the community, of the society, of the nation. We need to kind of revisit this. We have to come to terms with where we kind of walk down the wrong path, and probably we need to turn around and go back. Not taking everything and how it was in previous decades, but we need to take to certain things that help the community and the family stay healthy. Yeah, we need to do that. And that's how modern women have been acting, and as opposed to traditional women. Now, what they say is a modern woman, and if anybody is questioning it, what is a modern woman? A modern woman is wanting to take the masculine place of the man by doing, of course, have to be career oriented and being a take no bullshit, stand up lady, right? Combative, overbearing in how they play their position. Career first, as I said, and family later. Because they wanted to be just like men, and I could do anything that you can do. And matter of fact, I could do it better. You know what? I'm going to focus on my career. I'm going to be this high position, and I'm going to make my own money and get my own house. And ain't no man going to tell me what I can and can't do. And see what he's going to say. So fuck man, I'm tired of them motherfuckers. That's what women were saying. And I can do the same thing. I can have sex with as much men as possible, just like how men is having as much sex with these women. And I can do the same thing. I'm gonna go. Hey, it's hot girl summer. It's hot girl summer. City girl, right? That's what they want. They want that liberation, right? Also with modern women, they want relationships to bend to their will. They want their men to be them in their womanly behavior, for them to be in touch with their emotions and cry, and they have to understand where we're coming from. And modern women don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. Modern women are narcissistic because they are excessive with trying to gain attention. They want admiration. They see themselves as the prize. A man better do what he gonna do because I am the prize. I am the golden egg. Golden goose that lays the egg. He needs me. I don't need no man. A man needs me. You know how that go, right? So he better be doing everything he can to get me, girl, because when he get me, he should be proud that he got a prize like me. I don't have to do nothing. He better make all this money. He better do this. He better do that. He better take care of me, girl. And I said the high body count. They want to run up. They put the notches on the belt. And what happens with that mindset? What happens with that mindset? Women start to push past their fertile years, because they're saying the most fertile years are between 18 and 28, they say. They're so career oriented, they push family to the side. And then they start feeling, wait a second, the clock is a ticking. And now they're rushing out because they had the hot girl summers for the past 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 summers. And I don't give a fuck what a man do. As soon as he do me wrong, I'm out. Fuck him. And they become angry. And they become lonely. And they're unable to find a suitable mate because the time is ticking. I was in that position. I remember back in the day where I met this woman. She was a beautiful woman. I think she was a lawyer or something like that. I think it was around 24, 25. And she was like, I was like, yo, let me holler at you. So I hollered at her. Hey, what's going on? You know, we was in the same circle, seeing each other at the same places. And I knew she was like 38, 39, 40. But I was trying to see what's good. She was like, I said, she said, you know what? I'm in a mode where I'm looking for the relationship. I'm looking for my husband. I'm looking for the man that's going to give me children. You're going to be the one that we can talk. But if you're not, I'm not into it. And I respected her to it. She was real cool. I was like, I respect that. Cool. That's what's up. It was going to be me. I was like, oh, hell to the no. I was chilling. But she is an example of a modern woman. Now she's like, 39, 40. Now she's like, oh shit. Yeah, she got her house. She has the good career. She's making good money. And what did she sacrifice? She sacrificed her own body Now she's on the run trying to find a man, and now she's like, shit. And what do women do? When we be like, all right, listen, I can't find the right man, but I can find Mr. Right now. And all of a sudden they having a kid out of wedlock. They having a kid by themselves, and they're raised, well, I got my kid. But who wants to raise a child in a fatherless home? And the statistics say that children go wayward even quicker into I wouldn't say in it, but they become more trouble. I want to say criminal, but they have a troubled path in life because the father is not in the home. There's more likelihood for them to, in some ways, I guess you can say, falling into criminality because the father's not in the home. But no, you push past your most fertile years. Now you want to run. Now you just want somebody, you want to be a baby maker, pretty much. You want somebody to drop the seed in you. So they got no kids, just regretful, you know what I mean? And now they have to consider in vitro fertilization. But that's expensive. Not every woman can do that. You hear it on TV, you hear those great stories. Oh, this artist or this movie star or this person, celebrity is going to do in vitro fertilization. And you hear their story and everybody's like, you go, girl, that's right. You can still have your baby at 45 and 48. Nah, man. And they have problems. Not every woman can do that. Those are the people, those women you see on television. Yeah, they happen to be making money. And now they can afford that. And what's an example? Let me give you some examples of some modern women. Lolo Jones. Hey, boom, Lolo Jones. Everybody knows I spoke about her on the show before. Lolo Jones is the Olympic. I don't think she's Olympic. She didn't win any medals, but she performed in the Olympics. She went to bobsledding. She's about 38, I think 39. And she was telling a sob story online talking about she can't find the right man. How you can't find the right man, you Lolo Jones? She says she can't find the right man. Now she has to go to in vitro fertilization. She has to freeze her eggs. She was crying because the process was physically painful, but also emotionally painful, psychologically painful. And she's freezing her eggs. That's Lolo Jones. She got the money for that. Most women don't have that money. It's expensive. Who else is a modern woman? Oprah Winfrey. She ain't got no kids. So she chose the life to be Oprah Winfrey, and she knew the sacrifice. Yeah, she got what was her man name? What was his name? Oprah's boyfriend. I still think that's her boy. Stedman Graham. She still ain't married Stedman. She's been together for 36 years and did not tie the knot. They're partners, but they ain't married. Stedman been by her side all these years. Man, I don't know. But, modern woman. Tracy Ellis Ross, modern woman. She said, why is everybody always coming about me? On the article, either IG in the article, well, I have to worry about kids. Everybody coming to me about kids and a man. I don't want no man. Modern women talk. Tracy Ellis Ross, she's in her late 40s. She done. I mean, she could do in vitro if she wanted, but I don't think she having no kids. She living a single life. Let's see age. 50 years old. Modern women. Isha Sase. Isha Sase is a newscaster. I read her article. She's a newscaster from Nigerian. Let me see here. Okay. CNN. She's a news correspondent and anchor for CNN. She finally decided to have a child. She went through the same deal. And she's 46. And she had 2 attempts at trying to, get a husband or something. The first one didn't work out. The second one ended miserably. Now she's 46 years old and she's she wants a child. So she decided to go through in vitro. Let me see this article here. Straightforward. I've been blessed with building my career of my dreams over decades as a journalist. 13 years on air for CNN International, traveling the world to cover global events and interviewing presidents, movie stars, world leaders. I published a book, became a UN Goodwill Ambassador, and started a nonprofit to help empower African girls. But in my quiet moments, the one thing I wanted the most, to become a mother, remained out of reach. Look at that. But she wanted the bag. She wanted the career. And it's one thing that Andrew Tate did say, and I agree with him, and he did a short that was on YouTube. Andrew Tate was like, what do women want? What do women want? And he said his grandmother was 90-something years old. Man, I think, yeah, she was like 90-something years old. She was close to her death. The whole family came to the house, I guess, to see, her last moments. And it was about 70 people in the room. I believe that's what he said. 70 people in the room. And he was looking around and he was amazed that 70 people came from this one woman. They weren't worried about her career. They weren't worried about a hot girl summer she had. They wasn't worried about the car she bought. They weren't worried about the travels that they were glad that they had life, that they had existence, and this one woman gave it to them. That's all that mattered. And Andrew Tate is right. Modern women think they want a career, but it's not the career that they want. They want the man that they could not have, and they became them. Now, as opposed to traditional women have the traits of being supportive, nurturing. They have motherly traits. They're of purity, or they could be close to purity, meaning being a virgin or close to it, having a low body count. That they give less of themselves to other people, and they cherish themselves, and they save 2 or 3 or 4 guys or whatever. I mean, the actual traditional woman was a virgin at one point many decades ago, correct? But now we live in a modern age. Of course, there is no such thing as virgins, because people, boys and girls, they lose their virginity around 16, 15, I hear, some sort of 14. So the idea of having a woman of purity that's a virgin is non-existent. You understand? It's non-existent. So, but it can be close. 2 or 3, it could be close. And then the traditional woman can cook. She can handle a home. She's complimentary in what she offers to her husband. She supports him. She's right there emotionally, handling all the other things that he can't handle. And she understands she can be submissive. A lot of women get triggered by that word when you say submissive. What do you mean submissive? I ain't being on my hands and knees. I ain't submitting to no man. Here's what we talking about. The modern woman talk. That you feel that submissive means to be weak, to be waiting on him hands and knees. No, it's to be supportive to your man. It's to be nurturing to him, allowing him to lead in the home, and helping him in whatever way possible. That doesn't mean weak. That doesn't mean you're subservient. And that doesn't mean you're the servant. You handle other things that he can't handle, and you make sure. To me, it's a big job to handle the home, and there's a lot of things that goes into it. And also to be a mother, that's a full-time job when you have 2 or 3 kids trying to do it. So that's the traditional woman. And what is the outcome of a traditional woman? Being at peace, surrounded by her next generation when she had these kids surrounding her, likely to have a loving, lasting relationship, build a complementary relationship with their spouses, and helping them achieve their goals, where you have a peaceful duality between man and woman, a balanced way of living. Now, I'm not talking about men that's going to be like, yeah, I want a traditional woman. I'm not saying bare feet and pregnant with that toxic masculinity and being like, I'm not saying that. Fellas, if you listen to what I'm saying, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about belittling your woman because she is of the female sex, and she is physically weaker than you. That doesn't mean she has less value. She's your complement. She's your other half. She's there to help you and be a part of you along the journey of caring for a family. You understand what I'm saying? So I think this is something that we need to do. And also with the modern woman as opposed to traditional woman. Modern women can feel like they can wear whatever they want. I can just wear whatever I want. I don't care. You ain't got to look at me. What's the conversation we have? Women will be like, I can wear what I want. And they go outside. Why all these men looking at me? You said you could wear what you want. And that because you wearing what you want is scantily clad, then you have all these men going, look, yes, all these men. And some of them out of that group is going to holler. So we live by a sick trait of behavior in America where this is a free country. I can do what I want. That is a childlike response. When people say this is a free country, I can do what I want. Sure, you can do what you want, but you will always have consequences to your actions. You could do what you want. You could jump off a cliff, but the consequences is gravity gonna grab you and you're gonna break a leg or end up dead. But ain't nobody jumping off cliffs. Women feel like, yo, I can wear what I want. And they want to wear all this crazy tight, extra tight. And that's the thing that I'm just sick and tired of. When me and my wife go shopping for our kid and she's like, you know, she young back in the day, 9, 8. And you see some of these clothes and some of these clothes are so like adult. I'm like, she's only 8. Why are these clothes with the cleavage and with what the fuck is all this? We live in a hypersexual society where women are continuously looked at as sexual objects, right down to the kids. So then these people are walking around in clothes and then wondering why they're getting this attention that they're getting, as opposed to a traditional woman that doesn't feel, she doesn't seek attention by what she wears. And she wears clothes that covers her in the proper way when she goes out and does her business. Because of fellas, you met your girl on IG and she was wearing all that skinny shit. And you was like, damn, she hot. You hollered at her and she decided to be with you and you with her now for a couple years. Now she want to go out to the party. You going to be like, whoa, where you going with that? You feel me? You feel me, y'all? You check your girl. Whoa, you going out with your girl. What you doing with that? That's a little bit too tight now. You need to go ahead and change that. You feel me? Nah, but you met me wearing this. Nah, but you with me now. Fellas, you know what it is, right? So now you got to come on now. You can't be wearing stuff like that. And I always tell them, well, why you can't tell me what to wear? Yeah. And it's this whole thing that men are trying to control what women do. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what you're wearing is not becoming of you as a woman. That's why in a lot of ways I do respect the Muslim faith. And women can be wearing, they got the hijab, they got the clothes on in ways where they can keep the wandering eye away from their women. Why they wear the clothes that they wear. Now I keep it real. I don't believe. I think it's Iran. What's happening around? Some Iranian women have died because they didn't want to wear the hijab. I think that's over the top, and these women is getting killed. That's crazy. And I'll say that. And I try not to get into the conversation because it's another culture, it's another people, and who am I to try to throw in my own words on what's happening in another country? But when it happens, when people end up dead, women end up dead for protesting how they do not want to wear the hijab, man, I think that's wrong. It's overboard. This is fabric. Women getting beaten and killed because they decide not to wear the hijab. That's crazy. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, I respect the Muslim faith when it comes to that. I respect it. In the same way, my man was Muslim. I think he was Sunni Muslim. Back in the day, he was my producer, as a matter of fact, when I was rapping. And my producer, I couldn't, when he was gone and his wife was home and we came out to ring the bell, say we had to give him something, whatever the case may be, the wife would be like, hey, what's going on? Oh, yeah, we here for such and such. We come upstairs. Oh, he's not here right now. In the Muslim faith, it's not allowed for the man to be a strange man, even if it's a friend, to be in the home with the wife. when the man or husband is not there. When I first heard about that, I was like, oh man, okay, cool. But I respect that though, because you take away the temptation. You remove that situation where things could be a problem. And I respected that. And you know, when we came over and he was home, guess what she was wearing? Guess what his wife was wearing? She was wearing, now, granted, this could be problematic. I don't know because I ain't Muslim, but she was wearing a t-shirt and sweats. T-shirt and sweats. A grown ass woman was wearing a t-shirt and sweats when she happened to come into the studio to hear us ladies bars down when she was relaxing because it was in his home. She didn't come with no tight ass sweats, some tight ass shirt, some string, what do you call spaghetti string top, whatever, satin, whatever like that. She came in with a t-shirt and some baggy sweats. That's what I'm saying. And y'all know what, fellas, you know what I'm talking about. You got your girl and your boys come over and your girl was like, yo, what you doing? What you wearing? What you wearing? You bugging. Oh, yo, you got to take that off. And to me, I'm like, yo, listen, you wearing something. Oh, but I'm home. Nah, that's too revealing, yo. That's not appropriate. You don't want to wear that with me when we here, that's fine. But if I have company, yo, you got to change, man. And I stare at these things and I'm seeing what these women wear for nightwear or homewear. I'm like, yo, nah, that's not. Even though people are not there and it's family, I look at it as weird. Why does your shit have to be so quote unquote sexy? Like, this is homeware. Homeware, man. Why does, and they would say, well, it's home. You're home. Yeah, family. Yeah, I understand that. But if clothes can be like that and it's homeware, what are you wearing when you go outside? Not everything has to be tight and slim fitting and all. It don't always have to be like that. But it's become normalized. So when you bring when you talk to women or whatever in the family or whoever, hey man, that's crazy. They think that you're crazy. They think you got the problem. I'm just trying to point out, wait a second, that's a little much. Why does it have to be like that? But then it's the man that's crazy. So I think we got to borrow certain things from the Muslim faith and really start checking how this is being done. Again, this happens to deal with the health of the society. Modern women versus traditional women. And I say that because when you going outside and you wearing something crazy, and I always agree, you're not going to go to a bank or go to a job in a miniskirt. You're not going to do that. It's what's appropriate. And I always have to give those far out examples so people can get the picture. You're not going to go and do a dissertation at your school or whatever the case may be to the students and you wearing some tight ass high heels. It look crazy. It's not appropriate. If you young and you going to the club with your girls, you want to look nice, look sexy, where to say, okay, fine. But there's a time and place for everything. And I'm loving this conversation, and I'm loving more the fact that the women are having this conversation, because right now it's gotten to the point where women don't want to hear anything of what the man is saying. And in some ways, rightfully so, because men been fucking up for a long time. We've been saying and doing reckless shit up to this day. So we have poisoned the well when it comes to words as coming from us. So it's got to come from the older generation, the sisters. They got to be like, yo, listen, young lady, you ain't have to wear that. And I'm trying to get the things right in my home, but I'm always looked at as the bad guy. Oh, you're being too much. You're being, oh my God. I'm like, nah. It's what's appropriate. You want to go to the beach and you want to, fine, but yo, why do you have to wear that? And then I don't knock the women, because it's always like, well, these are clothes that's available in the rack. And I'm talking about for young kids. Why can't an 8-year-old be an 8-year-old? Why can't a 15-year-old be a 15-year-old? Why does everything have to be made where it's sexually enticing? but it's just we know what it's made for. I know what, and why can't be some sweats and a t-shirt? Things have always have to be sexualized. Anyway, that's what I'm saying in terms of modern women versus traditional women. And I hope that that's something that catches on. And we don't have, we minimize the hot girl summers. Ain't no man want a worn out, box. Straight up. Let's keep it real. How women go, how women move, and how men move are two different things. We are different sexes. And yes, there are different rules. You gotta carry yourself a certain way, and men gotta carry themselves in a certain way. But there are certain things in situations in real life when it comes to relationships, the interaction between men and women, and women say, why are men like that? It's because it's biological. It's right down to our DNA. And the same goes for women, right down to their DNA. But once you know the rules of the game, and I shout out Just Pearly Things. I've been watching a lot of Just Pearly Things with Pearl, and she brings on people from the UK and from America when she does a show over there, and she's having an honest conversation. And she's bringing on modern women on the show, bringing on men on the show, and we're having this conversation right before our eyes, and you hear the double standards that's coming from a lot of these modern women. And what they expect from men. Why are men like that? Why do men go for women like that? I want this man to be this way. No, you're trying to make him like a woman. You can't do that. That's a man. And men have a certain way of behaving, so you have to adjust to how men think. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's I'm hoping I can continue this conversation with other people. But yeah, man, that's my thing. I said my piece, folks. Thank you. I'm going to try to get this out as soon as I can. And I appreciate you listening to the show and tuning in. I'm your host, Nova Phoenix, host of GCOM Radio and founder of Lyfeblood.com, or say in this sense, Lyfeblood DAO. And hey, man, let's see if we can have a conversation. I got a couple. I'm still working on those interviews. They're coming soon. I'm doing one next week. I have to send an invite, and it's going to be real cool about housing, which is a big problem in our country. Yeah, thank you for listening. Please come back next week and listen. Please smash the like button, smash the subscription button on my YouTube. Send a like, follow up, send a comment. You can reach me on Twitter, or you can get at me on IG. I shut down my Facebook page. It is a wrap. So you could reach me there. And also you could reach me on Fanbase as well, on Lyfeblood and DAO, and I'll see you around, folks. All right, I'm out.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.